just to be there.
Oh shit. Oops. Well, hello. Let me not pick my nose because we are live. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. No, no, no. I gotta switch that. There we go. There's the better microphone. Hello. Welcome to our live stream. I say ours
Hello.
because there is someone else here too. There we go. I gotta pop them up.
Yeah, my little cartoon. Yes, sir.
Connor's little cartoon. That sounds funny.
Hey, Ali, how you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, I
hello.
like the cartoon. I like the cartoon. I think it's a pretty good representation.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm still kind of thrown off by like the brown hair because it's funny because like my hair is pretty brown,
Yeah.
but when I was a kid, like up until like honestly probably like early college, my hair was like blonde, like it was like real blonde.
Blonde? Wow.
I'll show you a picture later, but it was like I was super blonde and it's just gotten darker over time. But I kind of like it, so it's all
that
good.
Florida sun.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think I had an intro, and I just didn't do it. Hold on.
Oh.
Let's roll the beautiful bean footage. If it will work. There we go. Oh. That did not work as well as I was hoping.
That my like stream's a little behind.
Yeah, that didn't work as well as I was thinking it was going to. I don't know. Oh, I think we're lagging a little bit. Maybe.
Oh.
I can't quite tell. Because from the sound of it, it sounded like the intro was like at the end, but for some reason on my screen, I was seeing like, I don't know, maybe like 40 seconds behind. So I couldn't tell if live it's like finish or if it's still like messing up. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. I'm a little behind too, but I mean, I think we're okay because like on my screen, it looks like you right now, you're like moving pretty fluidly, so I think it's okay.
Okay.
I think.
You
If
think?
it's not okay, just let us know.
Yes,
But I'm
down
pretty sure
in
it's
the
okay
comment section. As always, we love your comments. Let us know if you
now. Yeah.
can't hear us or if something is running okay. Hello, hi. Hi,
Hey, how you doing, Luke?
What is
How's it
up,
going?
Luke?
So
we
amidst
are
all the
here.
chaos.
Yes, amidst the chaos in the country that we are going with. Yeah, things have pretty run like crazy rampant. I mean, it's almost like an infection. Well, it is an infection, I guess. Well, it's a virus,
Right.
not an
Yeah.
infection, but almost like you would think in a zombie movie where it's like a bite, then they slowly start to sweat, then they slowly get sick, then the next thing you know, they die, then they're a zombie. Pretty much that's how the country is kind of going right now. Like things have elevated crazy. Like I think
It's
just
bad.
a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago where it was like, stores were like still open, and then, that kind of happened. And now, like, everyone's wearing masks. Now the stores are limiting, like, what people are,
Hmm.
how many people can come into a store. Like, things have just moved from day to day, like, just even crazier.
Yeah, I was talking with some friends like recently, and I was saying like as recently as like March 7th, right? I'm in the parks. Was at like Disney on the 4th, and then on the 7th I was at Universal for Mardi Gras, and I was like, yeah, this is great. Next weekend I'm seeing All American Rejects and Simple Plan at the parks, and I
And
just had no idea what was about to transpire, and it is pretty bad.
you had
Okay,
no idea what
like
was in store.
I'm just worried about the rest of the year. Like we really needed to get this under control. But that aside,
Yeah,
amidst all, I will say, even if I'm a little worried um, about the event, the thing is
mhm.
it's been like nothing but bad news and sad news on social media, and we finally got something that kind of you know could instill a different emotion like
Connor
excitement
with
or
Connor with the segues. Pow, pow, pow.
yeah. I'm an expert. I'm an expert.
What Connor is talking about, if you don't know, there's I won't say little because I don't know why people say it is little site. Not little by any means. They've been around for long, long, long time. Horror Night Nightmares, every year they pretty much bring us a Christmas gift in the form of a speculation map. And generally, what's funny about that, when I think about the map, it's sort of like things that we hear and rumors and stuff that sort of the diehard people will kind of know already. Maybe there's some nuggets in there where you're like, oh, okay, that's a little different, or I might have heard something about that. But then it's just funny to see when it drops in kind of the general public or more than those folks who read message boards and hear rumors. It's funny to see their reactions because you're like, yeah, we talked about Billie Eilish, English, whatever,
Eilish, yeah, Eilish,
Eilish.
Eilish. You
We
got it.
talked about
Yep.
that like on the first podcast, I believe, or the episode.
Yeah,
So that was kind of like long rumored for a while there. It's just
yeah.
funny.
And the map came out a little early this year. It's
It
usually
did.
yeah. I think last year it came out at the end of April because I was looking at version 1 of last year,
Mm-hmm.
and actually at that point, Stranger Things, Nightingales, and Monsters were actually all already announced.
Oh
And
wow.
this year we got it early. Well, obviously, nothing's been announced.
Yeah. It was kind
So
of the perfect time too. I mean, I know maybe that wasn't their release schedule when they first
yeah,
probably put it together, but being that we don't have any announcements, and we probably, from what I understand, and Connor will correct me if he thinks I'm wrong here, we won't get announcements whatsoever until Operation moves on. That was clear because
yeah,
I thought maybe we might get something, but clear as day, once March rolls past, I believe they are waiting until the park opens for
hmm
Operation. Until then, we won't get an announcement. So if you're expecting one anytime soon, it ain't going to
yeah,
happen. You better
yeah.
look for late April or May.
I think if they were going to stick to their original announcement schedule, we definitely would have already seen something.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, uh, it's tough because I think the other reason is a little bit more unfortunate, but I think they're waiting to see if the event can happen
Ooh,
because, like,
ouch.
well, I personally think it will. I
Yeah.
personally think it will, but I don't know, and nobody really knows like the direction this thing is going to take.
That's true. I mean,
So
we
they
don't
don't want to
know
start.
where things
Yeah.
were 2 weeks ago, let alone will we know what things are going to be by the end of April.
And beyond. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, at this point, if they were just to start announcing stuff, it could be just end in sadness.
Yeah. They won't
But
they
but
won't
also
announce something uh and then have to either push things back or I mean that's the second I guess that's what I'm hearing the second um the second thing that would happen is the event would not be canceled, but it could be maybe pushed, maybe altered,
yeah,
like a couple weeks. It might be pushed or altered,
potentially
but
it all depends. Yeah.
yeah, it all depends. I don't think it would be like completely like, oh, they're going to skip this year and it's going to come next year, or it's going to come in like January and February or something. I don't think that's
hmm
going to happen.
Yeah, Erica there says Florida isn't even supposed to hit its peak until May.
Oh my
It's interesting.
goodness. The peak
So
of like what? The pandemic and like the
yeah, yeah.
wow. Jeez.
So I heard, like, I guess a few days ago, I was hearing that our peak was supposed to be in like 2 to 3 weeks. So like maybe like this month. I guess that would be better, right? If it peaked earlier. I mean,
Yeah.
I would
I
assume.
mean rather than
So, but I
later,
don't
yeah.
like. It's bad. It is bad, but
Um
we'll
that
see.
it is.
I think you'll see some differences in the event either way.
Oh yeah, definitely. We
Um,
won't see the flaps that you see inside the houses. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the flaps are basically the separators between one scene into the next. It's how you sort of see a room that you walk into is how you kind of see it fresh and new because it gives the actors time to reset
yeah,
and it gives you
it's like a
sort of the
transition.
barrier. Yeah, it's the
Like
transition. Yeah. I don't
which
think we'll
I
see
think,
those in there.
and I think if you don't have those, I actually think it might be kind of detrimental to the house a little bit. I mean, I'm
You
gonna
think it
forgive
would
them,
hurt it? Yeah,
but it'll make the transitions a little clunkier.
definitely
So,
would. But
but I mean, I'm not gonna hold that against
but
them
what's funny
in this
is,
case.
but the funny thing about those is that people have said this way before this came around about how nasty or I don't like touching those or like everyone touches those. They're so germy, they're so nasty. And now it's gonna
Yeah,
really be on my mind. Like, wow,
especially
I'm
now.
glad they got rid of those because you have to
I'll
like
and
push it to go into the next scene, and it's so nasty.
I'll tell you this, like no matter what, I'm gonna be like hand sanitizing after every
Oh
house I
yeah,
walk
they're
through.
gonna
Like
have them
it's
before you
gonna be
go in the
different.
house. They're gonna have them when you come
Yep,
out of the house.
yep, it's gonna be different. And I'm wondering how it's gonna affect like scare zones because will the actors not really be able to get as close to you?
Ooh, good
I don't
point.
know.
Are they gonna be?
I don't
Well,
know.
they'll be wearing masks, maybe more so.
That's true.
Not
That's true.
like face makeup because then they can still like get close and speak and spit and stuff. So
Right.
maybe.
We'll see. I'm curious to see how they change things up.
That is a good
But
point though. If it was
yeah,
extended into late November, it would be better weather. Yes, it would be more
yeah,
cooler
that's true.
and less hurricane. Yeah, did you see about the hurricanes? How they
Yeah,
reported
I'm
about
just
that?
trying not to think
That is,
about it. I'm trying not
this,
to think about it.
we're
It
already
looks.
thinking
I know.
about the pandemic, and then now like the
'Cause
hurricane news stuff starts, and it's like, oh god, just
wouldn't it
give
be like
us.
the most 2020 sucks? I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's a terrible year. Wouldn't it be like the most 2020 thing ever for the pandemic to start to decline and then bang, Category 4 hurricane?
And then they're like,
Like that would
well,
just
this kind of slowed down our production because some of the zones got damaged. It's like
we'd have another
2020, man. Like
27 situation on our
you
hands.
know, who I blame?
Who do you blame?
I blame. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. You know who I blame? I
Who's
blame.
that?
I blame. Hold on.
Really building the suspense here.
I blame her. She sits right over my head. I blame the Terra Queen, who
The Terror
is
Queen.
basically, who's coming? It's just funny to see her over my head.
Right.
The Terror Queen is coming this year.
Probably.
Um,
Probably.
yes, probably. What do you mean, probably?
Well,
Oh
I
yes,
will
yes,
say.
yes. We have to state
I will say.
for
Yeah.
so we don't get sued. Everything in the speculation map is all speculations, pure speculation. Nothing. Where the hell's the
Yep.
map? There we go.
Nothing
Nothing in
confirmed.
this map is said to be coming to this event. It's purely speculation put out by HHN or H.
HN Nightmares?
Yeah, H.
Fortnite Nightmares?
Why did you say it that way? HN Nightmares.
Well, that's what their Twitter handle is. HN Nightmares.
Oh, okay, yes. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So, yeah, before we jump into it, just a couple little things I wanted to say.
Uh
Just bear in mind,
huh.
there is a good chance that a couple of these probably aren't happening. That's just based off of like insider things I've read on the boards, and these are like public boards, by the way, like universal boards and stuff. Reddit. So that this kind of stuff is already like public, at least.
Hold on. I can't tell on my end,
Anyway.
but you're popping in and out. It could just be on my end. I don't
okay.
know.
Did I know? How we doing? Wait, is this better?
There we go.
Better?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Hopefully it sticks, but
Very funny, Alec.
yeah. Just keep in mind though that the spec map will change a little bit over time, and some of these houses like are probably like there's probably some things like lost in translation, that does happen. It's happened in the past. And also keep in mind things change, because remember us being like a late edition last year.
Oh yes, because it was something else, and then they're like, "Oh, we can make this into us."
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there have been things in the past, like I remember Scary Tales on the spec map was like Wizard of Oz or something. That's the right idea. Some things might be a little off. So
yeah, things.
keep in mind we get to it.
Uh-oh. Breaking up. So yes, the speculation map. What we have, we'll run through the list. Beetlejuice, we got Dungeon of Terror, we have Universal Monsters, The Bride, we have The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, we have Bedtime Stories, which is just funny, it's called Bedtime Stories. I always thought for some reason it was called Storyteller's Bedtime Story or something. The Haunting of Hill House, and we have Terra Cruentus, I don't know. Legendary Truth, Carrie, Ohio, Whoop Whoop, Billie Eilish, English, and Gremlins.
English.
And the good old Gremlins. We don't have any of the scare zones as usual. And we have 2 shows, Academy of Villains, obviously coming back once again, and Lagoon Show. And obviously attractions, if that's something you care about at Halloween Horror Nights.
I'm most excited for Transformers. That's number 1 on my hype list.
Transformers is on the hype list?
For sure.
You must protect Horror Nights.
Yeah, seriously. Put the whole world in a bubble. Stay home.
E.T. says, wash your hands.
So,
yes.
Based off of this, so we're talking hype list here, right?
Hype.
Just based off of rumors, by the way.
Yes, based off what we are seeing in front of us, and not
Yes.
an altered map, which I'm sure will be coming in the next week or so, which is going to shock a lot of people. Um, some fans of certain ones up here might switch. So
Yeah.
you can go, or do you want to go like you go, or do we drop, or we do our top and then you do your, like, was it, how many houses is this? 10, right?
10. Yeah, 10.
So do we do number 10 and then my number 10 and your number 9, or what do you want to do?
Uh, well, both. Okay, so I'll say it and then you say it and then we can discuss.
Okay,
How's that?
got it.
All right. So for number 10 on Connor's hype list based on rumors is going to be Billie Eilish, number 10.
No surprise there. Mine is the same as well. Yeah. Billy,
So
good old Billie Eilish.
this has been the topic of much Twitter discussion, for sure. Honestly, I can't remember more Twitter discussion coming off a rumor than.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been this big of an announcement, or not announcement, but a rumored announcement that everyone has had an opinion on. Good old Billie Eilish.
I think the thing with Billie Eilish is this house can go a couple different directions.
Yes.
The first direction is they base it off music videos, which I've watched like 5 or 6 of them, and I'm gonna be honest, I think Universal would have their work cut out for them to make it good. Because there's some things here and there, like especially in the
she does have, I think, maybe like 2 videos out of like what,
the
6 or
Bury a
7.
Friend one.
Yeah,
Yeah, like there's some things there.
There's some things there, but I personally don't associate the words Horror Nights or Halloween or horror with Billie Eilish. I don't know why. Like, if you said Marilyn Manson,
Yeah.
I think I would get it. If you said Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, I mean, there's countless of other like acts you can name, and I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that synonymous with that. But
You're right.
for some reason,
none of
I
them
just don't see it.
But none of them are at her level in current popularity.
True.
Especially with the younger demographic, which without Stranger Things this year is something they have to consider.
That's
and
true.
Then I'm not disagreeing with you. It is weird. The other direction this could take, and the direction I hope it takes, is it is well documented that Billie Eilish enjoys horror and Horror Nights.
Yes. So maybe she works with
maybe
John Murdy.
Maybe it's kind of a Murdy, yeah. Maybe it's actually more of a original, like with her name on it. Like she kind of helps design.
I can see that. Maybe
concept.
She does a few of the songs for it too.
Sure.
Like an exclusive.
And I don't feel like a lot of her music really works for Amaze because it's a lot more like chill.
Interesting.
So I don't know. This one is.
You don't think if you like
weird.
walk down the dark hallway, like was in Graveyard Games, and you heard like, I don't know what her songs are, but the way she does her whispering and stuff, you don't think that would be kind of freaky?
Well, in that situation, I think it could be.
Yeah.
But for like just like a regular scene, where like action is happening.
Yeah.
But I will say, even though this is 10 on my hype list, I actually will be very, very curious to see how they pull it off, and I will be like excited to walk through it just to see like, okay, how did they do it? What did they? How did they do it? So
me as well.
We'll see.
As much as I'm not too keen on the house, like I stated in my speculation video, I hope Universal knocks out the park. I hope they blow our minds. I hope we walk out and go, wow, I want to go through again, and not to walk through and be like, well, better luck next time, Universal.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, every house in theory, like on paper, has potential. So
Yes.
we'll have to see how it all just comes down to execution. But
But
it is
what
definitely
has
the least
more
interesting out of
potential
everything.
than Billie Eilish would be our number nine spot.
Yes.
Yes.
So my number nine is gonna be Sabrina.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
Yes, number nine is Sabrina for me as well.
look at that.
I promise our lists are not exactly going to be the same. Just maybe eight and nine, or nine and
Well,
10.
I don't know. It might be. It might be. We don't know because we haven't shared with each other what our lists are.
That's true.
So it could be just bang on the exact same, but hopefully not.
So we can have a little bit of a debate.
Sure.
So
So
Sabrina, what? I mean, have you watched the TV series or no?
okay, so I've watched like only a few episodes, which is partially why it's lower,
Hmm.
just because of ignorance. I will say I thought the show was a little boring at the beginning.
Ouch.
I will admit that there was much in a house, just like character design, set design, right? So I think this house, which I'm not really too sure that's actually going to happen, but I think it would actually be pretty cool. And the reason it's number nine for me is just because of everything else,
Yeah.
more than like me not being excited for the idea of Sabrina. It's just everything else sounds really good. So, but there's some potential in the imagery.
Yeah, there could be if they play up the horror elements of the show. I mean, it does involve Satanism and does involve witches and some kind of creepy visuals here and there, but I I just don't know because I've checked out on the show. I watched season one and then I haven't watched two or three yet. So I really don't have like an interest in this anymore. So
Hmm.
maybe it's just one of those things where, maybe I much had preferred Stranger Things to come rather than this, but
That's actually a tough one. That's actually a tough one because this would at least be something different,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
then with Stranger Things, if I will say if they didn't do season three last year, if they just made it season two and then focused a whole maze on season three, I would
Much
have been
prefer
pretty
season.
excited. Yeah, much
Yeah.
preferred. Because season three kind of felt like an afterthought in that maze.
Yeah.
Ali says season two was pretty good. So I actually do want to go back and finish Sabrina, like whether or not it comes to the event. Because I actually have heard like a lot of good things about it. I just think it's starting slow because I've only seen a few episodes and I just
Hmm.
was kind of bored. But I mean, maybe it picks up and I get more into it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. I
So,
will go next because you've went. For
all
number
right.
8, for me, oh man, I'm probably gonna shock you by saying this. Number 8 for
Okay.
me, oh man, Dungeon of Terror.
Really? Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and simply to put, I didn't go into the original Dungeon of Terror, and I don't remember anything from the other one if I did went into it. So for me, this is like the third time around with Dungeon of Terror. I have no clue what it's supposed to be, so I'm kind of just not too interested in it. I don't know if it's just a dungeon and like a bunch of traps. I mean, everything else I look at on the list piques my interest because where it could go, or because it's something, hey, I grew up watching Beetlejuice all the time. Like I
Hmm.
could quote the movie. So for me, it's like, oh, I much prefer to go into that rather than Dungeon of Terror. Um,
Fair. Fair.
it's to me, Dungeon of Terror is sort of how I think when they do Psychoscarapy. And it's like, hey, I've seen Psychoscarapy so many times throughout the years. I'm kind of just done with it because there's nothing new they can do with it, but maybe they will surprise me with Dungeon and Terror.
Hmm. And I'll mention this a little more when I get to Dungeon of Terror, but I think this is like the quintessential, like, maybe things are lost in translation. Like, could it be like a exact replica of the first Dungeon of Terror,
Mm-hmm.
or could they just be using the name Dungeon of Terror and it's actually like an anniversary house?
Ah,
You know,
maybe.
it's one of those things where we just don't
Well,
really
if
know.
it goes that route,
So
then I'm very wrong to put it at
exactly,
number 8.
exactly.
But sir, what
So
is
for
your
me,
number 8?
my number 8 is a little bit of a weird one.
Uh-oh. Should I take
For
a
me, it's
guess?
sure, sure.
I'm going to say it is bedtime stories.
No,
Oh.
it is going to be Gremlins. And
Oh, you did it.
here,
I can't believe
here's the
you son
thing.
of a...
Ev- Everything in this top 8 for me is like very, very hyped, very, very
But
hyped.
you like Killer
And
Clowns.
yes, Killer Clowns is my favorite movie. And let me also say, Gremlins, especially Gremlins 2, is also one of my favorites. And while I do have it ranked lower than Beetlejuice, I like it better as a movie than Beetlejuice. But I'm thinking about the house, right? I'm thinking about the house. And I'm thinking about like rumored locations for these houses.
Ah,
And
good
this one
point.
is kind of rumored to be in that new location in Cafe La Bamba
Yeah,
that could be
what
coming.
the world is up with that?
I I have no idea. But yeah, no, I love Gremlins, and this is simply in its position because of the strength of everything else. That's all it is, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I would still be very, very happy to see it. I don't know that it's happening, but I would be very stoked for it, especially if there's Gremlins 2 references in it.
That's true.
Um,
A very
but yeah,
didn't you say our president no, wait a minute. Is our president in there? No. Or
no,
is
Hulk
he?
Hogan.
Oh, Hulk
I think
Hogan's what it
you're
was.
thinking
I'm
of that
thinking
Hulk
of Home
Hogan.
Alone
Yeah,
2, which has our
right. When
president
he's in
in
there,
it.
yeah.
So it's Hulk Hogan. That would be a pretty cool cameo thing to throw in there.
I would I would love that. Yeah, I would love it. So
Well, that is your number 8. Okay, I will do my number 7. Trying to look at the list. Number shoot. Man, I don't. Number 7 for me. It's kind of put between two. I have to say it's with maybe Universal Monsters: The Bride. Um,
ooh,
I,
okay,
fighting.
interesting,
Those are fighting words.
interesting. Yeah.
Only because I enjoyed Universal Monsters last year. I thought it was good. It was excellent house. I enjoyed every time I went through. But I think about the bride. The bride is not scary to me unless they're gonna do some kind of really cool effects to make her kind of scary. Um, is it just going to be last year's house, but just with the bride and more of the scenes? You know what I mean? Like it just
Mm,
feels kind of, I don't know, like the way Hollywood did their second house with what was it? Frankenstein versus the werewolf, I think it was.
right.
Yeah, that seemed more interesting than just Universal Monsters: The Bride. Like, I have no interest in her story. I have no interest in really seeing her, obviously without the rest of them. But I'm sure they'll be in the house as well. But then
Hmm.
again, this is not my area of expertise, the Universal Monsters. So, um, this will probably be a fine house, but it's just not something that has my interest.
Okay. Okay. So for me, what are we on now? Number 7 for me,
7,
right?
yes.
Okay. So my number 7 is gonna be Dungeon of Terror. Um,
Oh, okay,
and
not too bad from my number 8.
right. It is an original, so I'm excited for it regardless because you just never know. and like I said before, I just am not entirely sure what this is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't really justify it putting it like too high. But
Yeah.
I did want to put it at like a decent 7 because it is like the first house of HHN history, and
Good point.
it is like a very cool piece of lore to see them like recognize something that far back.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's the actual like they actually recreate the house or if it's just they're using the name remains to be seen. So that's where I would
Could
put
be
that.
pulling a little trick on us.
Right. There's not too much to say about it just because I just don't feel like we really know.
What's up, Expedition Theme Park? What is up? Welcome.
So
So that was number 7. Number 6, I will
Number
let you take the
6.
next 2.
Okay. So my number 6, or let's continue to look a little similar. Mine is The Bride, Universal Monsters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did put it a little higher based on the merit of how incredible last year's house was
Yeah.
and how well they executed that. Again, this is another one I've seen some things like on the Inside Universal forums. People were saying like it's like Frankenstein's Bride versus Dracula's Bride.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were
Which,
going to go with.
if that's the case, I would probably bump it up a spot. But yeah, like you said, I'm sure the other monsters will probably appear in some capacity. At least
Yeah.
like Frankenstein's monster.
They're going to appear at the wedding.
Right. We actually go to the wedding. But yeah, just like everything else, again, is just like the top 5 all just seem really, really cool.
What I would love,
so I couldn't justify putting it up there.
what I would love to see them do, and I've been waiting for them to pull this effect off, and they never have, and I don't know why, because it's Universal. I would expect for something, but I would love to see them do black and white. I don't know how you color an entire house that way, but I would love to like just step in and be like, are we in black and white? Like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know how. Is it projection mapping? Is it just color shading? But I would love to see that.
You'll probably know better than me because I think you did this house, but didn't they attempt that with like House of Horrors in 2012? Like Universal's House of Horrors?
It wasn't black and white. It was more like a weird neon sort of black lit sort of type of thing. Like once stuff was illuminated, like you saw almost like the lines of stuff like drawn and not fully
Gotcha.
Fully colored in.
Yeah, I would actually really like to see them do like actual like true black and white.
Yeah.
Like not lighting effects, but like what like they could. It can't be that hard, right? They just paint the house.
Yeah, you would just
like
paint
that
it mono,
like shades of gray instead of just regular colors.
Yeah, because they at least did. I remember in the Zone All Night Die-In Take 2 when they had the other side come out with the classic monsters. They were all pretty much shaded in just black and white, like the colors and stuff. So that was kind of neat to see him drawn, or not drawn, but the makeup done that way. So I believe they could do a house. Will they ever? I don't think so.
It would be awesome to see, though, for sure. It'd be a new spin on things.
So now my number, what are we
6.
on? 6. I'm trying to think. What are my top? Well, that's number 6. Maybe for me is wait a minute. Yeah, I'll go with Gremlins. Yeah, okay. Number 6 for me is Gremlins. The reason why is because I don't know how do you do an entire house with gremlins, because you can't, unlike how killer clowns, the clowns themselves are different sizes. Obviously you have gigantic ones, you have tall ones, you have fat ones. Gremlins are all the same for the most part. Like they all look the same. They're the same height. They're small. So how do you fill an
Mm.
entire house to be scary with puppets? You know, like little gremlin
Well,
puppets. It could be funny, and yes, there will be human characters in there, but I just don't. I think it just doesn't have enough in it to make a full feature house.
hmm yeah, that's kind of a concern for me too. As much as I love the film,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also why I would, aside from the fact that I actually love the second film more because it's just so ridiculous, and I love that over the top stuff.
Yeah,
That's another case for Gremlins 2 to be incorporated because that one had like the gargoyle gremlin, the spider gremlin, the energy
I'm
gremlin.
gonna have to watch this
The wait,
Gremlins
have you not
2,
seen
man.
have you not seen Gremlins 2?
And I'm sure I've seen it once, but that was probably in like the 90s or so. I don't even remember what it
It it is a roller coaster.
is.
It is nuts,
Is it?
just
This is the
bonkers.
one where they're trapped in the building, right?
Yes, in the
Okay,
skyscraper.
I kind of
Yep.
know vaguely of it, but I don't really remember much of it. So I will have to watch that.
It's just it's there because there's variants of Gremlins in that one that would kind of give some variety to the house. Um,
Oh yes,
and I
that
just
would
think,
be hilarious. The movie theater scene with
oh yeah, you
uh
got to have that
the
for sure.
Seven Dwarfs and the I would
Yes.
love to see the bar scene. The see yes, much like Child's Play, but see when they did the Chucky house, they were smart. They also Chucky can be a smaller female, so it can move. It's not a puppet, so it doesn't have to stay still or whatever. But they also did something to where Chucky he possessed other toys in the house. So it was like toy soldiers, it was stuffed animals. There was all sorts of variety they can do with it just not being Chucky. When you do gremlins, like the gremlins are gremlins, like they're not going to alter or possess something else. So, um,
This is sort of off topic a little bit, not to divert too far here, but
mhm.
I don't like Chucky as like a human actor, as like a short girl, because
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean you don't like Chucky as a
like
human actor?
I like. By the way, I think in the Chucky Scare Zone in 2018, the his jokes were kind of stale because he would just be like, where are you
Yeah.
from?
Hey, where you
Oh,
from?
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
what is
sorry to
that?
hear
What are you
that.
taking a
Haha.
picture?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, like from a physical perspective, I like that representation of Chucky better because that's like what
Ah.
Chucky actually is.
Yeah, you didn't
You know what
like
I
you
mean?
don't like puppet or not puppet, smaller character Chucky running around with a mask and a
Yeah,
knife.
when they're like 5 foot or whatever, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, go
I,
somewhere.
I
You're
don't
not
think
scaring me.
it's not like I'm seeing Chucky. It's like I'm seeing someone in a Chucky costume. You know
Ah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But
That's understandable.
that's a little off topic. But anyways,
No,
so
it was on topic though. I got you.
I I believe,
Um, would you think
and
Erica says, would you think Gremlins would be a fun scare zone?
I feel like it would be a hard scare zone to pull off.
It would because you would have to have some sort of physical stage built for people to hide behind to do the puppets for the gremlins.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't think it would work as a scare zone more so than a house
hmm
because they can set up obviously different scenes that happen in Gremlins from the bar to the movie theater to grandma hopefully going up like the stairs. I don't know how they would do that effect, but that would be great.
And I would be very excited just to see Gizmo in a house because he's so freaking cute.
Oh man! And
I
then they
just
would
love
sell
he's
the
so cute.
gizmos too.
Yeah,
Oh
they already
man!
are. They've actually been selling gizmos
But
in like some of the stores.
I want a Universal Horror Nights gizmo. Not that there would be any difference, but
That's
yes.
true.
Then it'd be
And
like,
also,
oh,
for those of you
gizmo
who have seen
snacks.
Gremlins 2,
Hmm?
can we just discuss like for those of you who have seen Gremlins 2, like they managed to take Gizmo from Gremlins, one of the cutest creatures in the history of film, and make him cuter in the sequel. How did they do that?
Now
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to
No
watch the
idea.
sequel. I will definitely be
Please,
watching
yeah,
that
please
at some
report to
point.
me as soon as you do. I love that movie so much. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun. But this is one of those things, like, even if it doesn't actually happen this year, it's just one of those things that you got to figure is going to happen eventually, right? Like,
I would
one of
think it's
these
on
years.
their, yeah, I would think it's on their list.
So,
Carrie?
if we are now ready, Carrie.
Do you mean Carrie like Carrie that moves things with her mind, or you mean Carrie like Carrie, Ohio? What is your
So,
number 5, sir?
well, so actually, by my count here, I believe you and I will have the same bottom five and the same top five, just in like a different order.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So, my number 5 is going to be the man himself, Mr.
Oh,
Beetlejuice.
you son of a.
Is that your number 5?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just upset that you put him top 5.
Well, you have the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about Beetlejuice and why he's not a little higher. It's strictly, and this time, like, strictly because I would be hyped for Beetlejuice, and this is one, like, even I like the Gremlins movie more than Beetlejuice, as much as I do like Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Beetlejuice as a house is so, like, just, like, perfect. It's like a perfect house. Like, the imagery in the film, like the character design, and the fact that it's currently rumored to be in a soundstage,
Man, that's...
just it just is a great property. And he's also great for the anniversary,
Yes. If people
because
did not
he
know
has
that.
he has like an extended history with the event and just the park in general. So
That is true. Um, do you think he would be as raunchy and rude? I mean, obviously they can't have him cuss in the house, but
mhm.
in sort of this era where, like, I mean, face it, Beetlejuice was in the 80s and you can get away with how he was in the 80s.
Right. He did marry a child, or try to.
He did grab his crotch. He did try to look up. He tried to look up, what is her name? Gina Apple. I think it's Gina. Gina. He was trying to, like, look up her skirt multiple times. He was, like, tickling her. I mean, like, Beetlejuice is like the worst of the worst.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'll be dialed back in that respect, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll still pull it off. Like, he'll still be.
I would love for them to do and the a nice blank blank model. I don't think they would, because I don't know. Well, I guess they would do the edited version. He could just say nice, blank blank model, and it would just be like some weird noise or something.
Right.
I would love that scene. Sandworms, the underworld. I mean, there's just it depends on the company if they allow them to sort of branch out and create things, or is Tim Burton behind this? Because he can maybe be a little controlling, or maybe it's just going to be strictly like the movie itself, and
Yeah.
from scene to scene, and that's it.
I think that's probably what it'll be. I think it'll be like a book report kind of house, Like they've done IPs in the past, like Poltergeist and even Killer Clowns, where they kind of take some creative liberties, But there are other houses that are just kind of I would call like a book report,
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters or Us, that kind of thing. Well, I mean, Us had some
Well, you
stuff.
really want Creep
But
Show in Orlando? Sorry, Jaws. That's a no go.
I would love to have it too.
Unless
I would love to have it
something's
too.
going to drastically change on this map and Creepshow steps in, I don't think that's going to happen, especially not this year. Season 2 of Creepshow's coming up, I believe, later this year, or they're filming it, or they were filming it. It might be pushed back till next year, and then maybe we might get Creepshow 1 and 2 or something, but wouldn't hold my breath for that property to come here.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to do it like the way Hollywood did and have like at least a couple of parts from the original film.
Yeah.
But anyways, so what's your number 5?
Number 5. Feel like there's some sort of top 40 countdown. And number 5 is uh, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, it's gonna be Terra
Really?
Terra
Terror
Queen
Princess
House.
at 5. Terror Queen at 5. Okay.
Yes. I know that's a little shocking.
Yep, we're gonna have to have a talk on that one.
Yes, she's angry. Now she wants to just cover up my face.
Yeah, she's coming.
Yeah, so
she's coming for you.
Sorry, Terror Queen. Sorry. I know you're part of the history of this event. I just don't know enough about her other than, she rides a pretty evil looking motorcycle. She has gigantic
and that's
wings.
not it. That's enough for me. That's enough for me.
I gotta know there's more. I know we're gonna go to whatever world this is of Terra Queen, and who knows what might be waiting for us in that world. Maybe some stuff from the past. Maybe it's just all made up stuff. It could be like an underworld type of hellish type of world, a theme to it. It's interesting. I'm excited to go to it, but it's just the other ones outrank it for different reasons.
Okay. Well, we will talk about that a little more when I say where I have it ranked. Also, Avion's in here. He says, oof, when you put the Terror Queen at 5. And,
I don't want to make him mad.
And also, Avion, how you doing, bud?
What's up, man? What's up? Welcome.
Hope you're doing all right. And I hope you're scare acting again this year so that I can come through your sets.
He's gonna kill me. Watch he be cast in the Terror Queen house, and he's just gonna be like,
oh, I hope he is.
He's just gonna wait for me and terrify me, drop me to the floor or something.
Yeah. Doing all right, Avion. Just hanging in there through all this, hanging in there. I share a lot of your sentiments. I see your tweets about missing the parks and everything. And
I think I made a lot of people mad with that.
Yep. Well, on to number 4 now. So I believe it's your turn to go first, right?
Yes. You son of a gun.
All right.
Wait a minute. Did you wait a minute? So that was number 5, number 4. Okay.
Yep.
Oh man. Number 4. Suspense. It's going to be bedtime stories.
All right.
Yes, bedtime stories. Shout out to Losh TV. He kind of excited me for this house a little bit more than what I was. And shout out to my co-host Connor, who kind of had this crazy idea that I will be talking about in a future video. I'll give you a little hint, a little tease right here. Connor was maybe spot on with a theme that's going to be coming with this year. That we might see an icon finally. Maybe not front loading the event like in the commercials, but definitely will be a bigger part of this year besides the Terror Queen. And what Losh was saying was bedtime stories makes you think of something like Little Red Riding Hood or Itsy Bitsy Spider, which would that freaked me out when he said that. I was like, oh my god, you're talking like imagine the Itsy Bitsy Spider, but the spider is a gigantic one or something. That would be freaking terrifying.
Mm.
cobwebs, just all sorts of weird bedtime stories twisted in a way. I think it would be kind of interesting of a house. So
Hmm.
that's why it's my number four.
All right, so my number four is going to be.
Scratch his head.
Avion's not happy with you, bro.
Oh man.
Um, so my number four is going to be Legendary Truth. Um, this is one that I'd be very excited about, especially if we're seeing scenes from different Cary, Ohio houses from the past that I may have missed, and there are a lot of Cary, Ohio houses that they could use, um,
Yes.
including some recent ones that I actually did get to see, like Hive, Slaughter Cinema. Those were set in Cary, Ohio.
Oh, that's a good
So
point. Wow.
it would be cool for me to get a little throwback and also see some
And
stuff.
I do believe Psychoscarapy might have been set in Cary, Ohio as
Could have
well.
been. Hmm.
Hmm.
So, like, earlier I was saying how Dungeon of Terror, maybe we just don't know the full story, and maybe this is the anniversary house, or maybe it's a carbon copy of the original. But I kind of hope it's this Cary, Ohio idea where it's like you get through House of Carry, and like Legendary Truth being behind it is a nice nod to a big part of history
Yeah,
at the event. So yeah, that's why I put it there.
good point. There could be a lot of artifacts and a lot of, like you said, throwbacks, things that were featured in the event before, like um, what is it called? The lantern that Fear had with all the icons in it, like little nods
Hmm.
throughout the house where you're like, oh, little Easter eggs. So definitely, I can see this being a house that you revisit multiple times. Where's the location of this house, if I'm looking correctly?
This was a parade building, I believe, which means you could see some big builds,
Oh yes,
which
yes,
would be nice.
that's perfect.
Um, Also, to your question, Ali, about Scarecrow, I don't believe Scarecrow was set in Cary, Ohio. As far as I know, it was just some random like Depression era farm.
Why
Like
you
I don't think they
got
specifically said it was set
why
in Cary.
why you got to crush our dreams?
I,
Why
well,
you
I just
gotta be
looked it
that
up for
guy,
them just to
Connor? I
verify.
mean, come
I'm
on,
sorry. I'm
Connor.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, yes, I
Um,
was hoping, I was praying for Scarecrow too, but I'll settle for
I
a
think,
scene or two. Maybe not a scare zone. I don't know. I feel like we've already had Scarecrow the Reaping scare zone. We had it how
yeah, the
many years
harvest.
now?
Yeah, yeah. I think, but I do believe that we will see like another Scarecrow house at some point down the line.
Oh God,
You
yes.
know,
They got to.
so even if it's not
Everyone
this year,
wants a
it
Scarecrow.
is. See, that's the thing about Scarecrows. Like, I kind of thought it was going to happen this year too,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like maybe not too like far enough removed yet to do a sequel.
True. I
Because
also
like,
thought we would have gotten a Slaughter Cinema, I don't know,
hmm,
some goofy title like Back to Back or the sequel or some stupid thing. But
yeah,
yeah.
I think like when you look back, like Dead Exposure was like 10 years later. Nightingales was like 9 years later.
Good point.
So
Wow, look
I
at
don't think we're far
Connor's
enough
always
removed.
thinking of
Yeah,
the little patterns that you
I am. Yes,
absolutely
but
great. Yes. Yes, Avion.
yeah,
Yes.
um,
I don't think
so
I've come across one person that has said Scarecrow was not that good. Like
no,
I
no
think
way.
it's
Yeah.
pretty much everybody's synonymous. Like if you had to make like a top 10 of all time, well, it's hard for you obviously because you haven't been as many years, but 10 years
Hmm.
later you might say like Scarecrow, it's on my top 10 of 10.
Yeah, it's yeah, it was pretty phenomenal. So
So
if we shall move along to
we
number three, whose turn
are,
is it? Wait,
it was
or
your
wait, did you say
turn.
your number four?
Did I? Wait a minute.
Did you?
One, two,
Your number five
three,
was Terror
four.
Queen.
And then I
I
said
don't
bedtime
think.
stories.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was your number four, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So number three now
Number
for
three.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go?
Yeah, you can.
My number my number 3 is also, well, not also because he was number 4, but my number 3 is bedtime stories. This was kind of a thing that could have happened last year, but then it kind of got dropped for us, or at least like something similar to this last year. And apparently it was supposed to be pretty dang awesome. And the reason I put it at number 3 specifically was because of how much I love Scary Tales. Scary Tales was my number 1 house of 28. I loved that house so much. I'm not saying it was like the technically best house at 28 because I believe that would be Poltergeist, but my personal, the one that just struck the right chord with me was Scary Tales. Yeah. And I just feel like this house screams like has potential to be a lot like Scary Tales. So that's why I put it so high.
That's a good point. What if Bedtime Stories is a nod to some of the best original properties in the past rolled up in a bedtime story? Interesting.
That's true. Because like we keep saying, like a lot of things get lost in translation in these spec maps.
Yeah.
And I think there's like, out of the 4 originals, there's like 3 that could potentially be like a matchup anniversary house. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it is the 30th anniversary, and pretty much they go big for the, I guess the even numbers as opposed to the odd ones. So that is your number 3, right?
Right.
And so, what is my number 3, right? Trying to think, where did I go? 1, 2. Yeah, mine is Legendary Truth, Cary, Ohio, as well.
Gotcha. So you're gonna have 2 IPs at 2 and 1.
Oh shit!
Interesting.
Well, you're gonna have one as well. Don't. I'm
gonna have one, but I'm gonna have an original and an IP.
True. Hey, I don't mind IPs. They're part of this event as well.
Oh no, I
Legendary
love
Truth, Cary, Ohio. I have a long history with Legendary Truth. I remember the earlier stuff, like with the older websites where we had Legendary Truth sort of come into play, especially like Halloween Horror Nights 18. If you were not around for that portion of the year, Legendary Truth involved us, the fans, sort of being working in conjunction with them to try to solve everything for that year, and it was just beautifully done. And then Legendary Truth has always come back every so often with interactive stuff in the park. So taking, for instance, of that, and then this could be, you know, some sort of portal maybe we're entering and going into different years from Horror Nights would be interesting. The Cary, Ohio thing, it can be interesting because not every house was good that was Cary, Ohio. But it is good to see. Maybe we might see an older property, Psychoscarapy, like you said, Slaughter Cinema. I'm sure if we even go back even further, there's more stuff that was Cary, Ohio, but it's just hard to sort of see what everything has been. But it also is good in a sense that they've always talked about Cary, Ohio in teasing this idea of what is there, what, you know, could this be a bigger story
that'd be really
at
cool
the
to figure
event,
out.
you know, like answering some questions finally. What is behind Cary, Ohio and all this stuff happening there? Could be interesting. So that is why it's my number 3.
So before we move on to the top 2, because we've both already said Legendary Truth, I've pulled up a list of appearances of Cary, Ohio at the event.
Do tell.
So we have Scream House. So this goes back to 2002. 2002 was the first appearance. That was Scream House.
So
All
you
Night
know
Dying.
who we're going to see there.
I would love that. I would love that. Mr. Crane. Or Kane. Is it Crane? I think it's Crane.
Albert.
Albert Crane.
Yes.
Kane. Dang it, it's Kane. Gosh,
Kane.
dang it. Okay.
Crane.
God damn it. Okay, so
Now I'm gonna call it Albert Crane for now.
damn it. Okay, so Scream House was the first one, and you got All Night Die-In, 2003, Scream House Revisited, and Scream House Resurrection.
Well, gee, the more you keep talking, the more I wanted this to be my number one.
And that's just the beginning, my friend.
Wow.
The Schoolhouse, 2008.
That's true.
Horrorwood Die-In.
Oh my jeez.
In 2009, we had The Spawning and Leave It to Cleaver, where Wyandotte County,
the Spawning,
not technically
my old stomping grounds as a scare actor. So even I was in Cary, Ohio.
You were, well, so the thing is in parentheses here, The Spawning and Leave It to Cleaver were in Wyandotte County, which is where Cary is. So I don't know if it's exactly Cary, Ohio, but I think that it would still count. Okay, yes. It still counts. Then we got Silver Screams, 2009.
Gosh, man. So that's all the icons.
The Orphanage, Ashes to Ashes, was Wyandotte County. Obviously, Legendary Truth, The Wyandotte Estate.
Yeah.
And then we got Havoc, Dogs of War.
Yeah.
We've got Zombie-Geddon.
Wow. Jeez.
We've got Catacombs. Now, that was in the sister town of Cary, France. And there's another one in a couple here that was also in Cary, France. So, Catacombs, HR Blood and Guts, Cary, Ohio.
Yes.
Acid Assault, Scare Zone. And then Gothic would be the one that was Cary, France.
Wow.
But Cary, Ohio was also Dead End. Afterlife Death's Vengeance. Havoc Derailed. All Night Die-In double feature. Everyone's favorite Lunatics Playground. Apparently, Cary News mentioned on the facade sign. And then Hive, Twisted Tradition, and Slaughter Cinema. So those are your things they could pick from.
When you say that, maybe this should have been my number one or number two.
I put that list in the chat for you guys.
Wow.
So, yeah, but the only reason for me, I probably would have put it a little higher if we knew that's definitely what it was, but obviously we don't know.
I'm sure, like, once, if it stays on the map and an announcement drops where they're going to be like, oh, shit, number one.
It would be cool if we could, like, potentially kind of explore, like, maybe we try and figure out what makes Cary so evil. Like, maybe we go to the source. You know what I'm saying? That would be really interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of cool ideas that you can do with this.
Yeah.
A lot of cool ideas.
And when you add in the idea of Legendary Truth, it can take so many different ways. Like, are they investigating that town and maybe they opened up a portal and that's how we go to different years throughout Horror Nights, you know, discovering like, oh, this was the start of the evil at Scream House, and then we went to All Night Die-In, and then we had a few other things sprinkled in, and then pretty much everything you named was all the icons. So if everything kind of lines up, this could be our anniversary house, our icon house, as far as featuring all the icons that we've been wondering where they were. What about Jack? Did you name Jack at all? Funhouse? Was his Funhouse Cary, Ohio? I don't think it was.
I don't think Jack was a part of that.
I mean, Jack's got to be at this event.
I could see us getting like it's actually like Jack's Dungeon of Terror or something like that. I could see that happening.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I just feel like this house has so much potential because I'm such a fan of like the lore and backstory of things.
Yeah.
Is it HHN? So this could be like a total like geek out kind of house. Like, oh my God, this is, you know, blah, blah, blah. So.
And definitely for those who do the Unmasking the Horror tour, I'm sure if this house was on that tour,
Mm-hmm.
it would be the perfect house to do to learn all the little secrets and Easter eggs and nods and the story behind the house. So
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
save
sure.
your money for that.
Through, I'm sure, like throughout the event this year, because it's the 30th anniversary, like there's going to be so many Easter eggs and nods to the past in these houses. So,
Yes.
anyways, top two. Top
Well,
two.
I can do. You want me to do my number one and then my number two,
Okay, yeah, that works.
and I'll leave it suspense. So you already know there's two spots left. I'm pretty sure you're gonna guess what they are.
I
Um,
think I know. Yeah. You
it
have
would
Hill
surprise
House
you
and
if I put
Beetlejuice.
one over the other.
Right.
Yes, number two for me is good old Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, like I said, I grew up watching Beetlejuice. It's something I can name all the time. I quote it all the time. I love the movie. The more and more I watch the movie, the more I find little things about it still today. I've seen it so many times. And just creativity of it would be insanely nuts what they can do with this stuff. Just from
Mhm.
a standpoint of having Beetlejuice sort of bring the comedy element, but then there's a lot of scary stuff that actually happens that you don't think is too scary. Like for instance, when the new movers or not new the people try to move into the house, and the couple that is there, they do something pretty terrifying to their face. They pretty much, she rips off like her face in one scene. That was pretty terrifying. Then you have like Beetlejuice doing this, which is, God, that is terrifying. Um, Imagine a big giant like puppet thing of that coming out and like terrifying you. So yes,
Mhm.
Beetlejuice really has me excited. Um, I kind of avoid the character in the parks just because he's just, I don't know, he's so random and weird and goofy, and but
Yeah.
being in a house, I just think it's just like a perfect blend. It just gives me that killer clowns feeling, but a little bit more scary thrown in there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I think one thing that people kind of forget when they look at these properties is like even if the film isn't all that scary on paper, like it's a totally different thing when you're walking in a dark room and something pops out from behind a corner and there's a loud
oh
noise.
yeah,
Like it's totally different. So I just think there's a lot of source material for a house. Um, you know, I think this is kind of like the Ghostbusters of this year.
yeah,
But I
because
just
you're
feel
gonna
like
walk
I feel like
out
there's
at the end and hearing and seeing Winona Ryder character float, and then shake, 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 Sonora. Everybody's gonna be like dancing, so it's gonna leave you with a good feeling, like leaving the house.
right. And I think while the properties are similar, like this film is just begging to be made into a house. Like the imagery and the settings and like the
Hmm.
characters, there's just so much. There's
And I
just so
and
much.
I do believe them having Killer Clowns be such a success, I think really led them to Beetlejuice saying like, hey, we can do something that's a little bit of comedy and a little bit of
Sure.
horror. Well, that and Ghostbusters as well, but that combination I think led to them sort of taking this risk and thinking they could do something like Beetlejuice.
Which I think is another reason to expect that even if Gremlins doesn't happen this year, like I said,
Hmm.
it will probably happen in the future because Gremlins is kind of the same sort of movie,
Yeah.
you know. So my number two now, right?
Yes.
Number two. My number two is The Haunting of Hill House. And if
Ooh,
if you want
ouch.
to if you want to talk about IPs that could make a perfect house, this is up there. Like honestly, there are very few IPs that exist that
Mm-hmm.
they have not done that I would be more excited for. Only
Wow.
a select few that they haven't done. I think Hill House is brilliant. It's just so brilliant. The the show is brilliant. Let me just I've seen some people in some different like social media areas talking about like I don't understand how this could be a house, and I just don't get how you
What?
couldn't. Like, let me just name some things for you, okay? Bent Neck Lady,
Mm-hmm.
Undead Nell, Bowler Hat Man, just so many like random background ghosts. Um, Mr. Smiley, uh, the basement zombie. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so much. Poppy, can't forget Poppy,
Poppy.
and just the inside of the house is so just just perfect. It's completely perfect, and
Yes.
yeah, that's all I really have to say. It would just be perfect.
I have nothing to say.
look at look at that house. Look at that house.
I mean,
Imagine that as a
oh
facade.
God, that is
Oh,
just beautiful. That's gorgeous.
just
Just
oh,
give it to
oh
me.
man,
Give it to me now.
just oh,
Well, speaking
just
of
yeah.
The Haunting on Hill House, and I guess we can move on to my number one, Haunting on Hill House. um, Connor pretty much gave it a standing ovation. He gave it pretty much everything I was going to say. Um, I think, for folks who say, oh, Horror Nights is, Billie Eilish and Stranger Things, it's for little teeny boppers and kids. And this house, I don't think it's not for kids. Obviously, it's going to terrify
No.
the crap out of everyone. It's going to give me that scarecrow feeling. It's going to have me running from room to room. Um, just that, and the visuals, the ghost effects, everything they've proven they can do in the last couple of years with effects of ghosts. And then, like you said, um, I would love if they do what they did in the show of having ghosts just randomly appear in the background, or like you're just like, what was that? Like, did you see that? I would love to have that feeling, because it would give you that feeling of like, I saw something in there, and maybe your friend misses it. He's like, I didn't see nothing. I saw the ghost that was on the left. No, there was a ghost on the right too. I would love that, have that eerie feeling. All the characters you named, the house itself is just terrifying. Yeah, I'm I'm all for this. This is my number one.
Just like yeah, just thinking about getting to walk through that is just like Ali said there, just goosebumps.
Ugh,
Just goosebumps. It would be I want a Shrek 2 on it. Honestly, Shrek 2 would be pretty frightening.
that's right too.
Great film though. You can do it. Great film.
I can't see the chat.
But
Oh
no,
man.
Haunting Hill I can't I'm excited um to actually like watch the series again because I'm going to obviously watch it over again when we get closer to the event, as long as like if this still is like a real thing, which I'm pretty sure it is. Um, Definitely, I'm looking forward to giving it a rewatch and just picturing like, okay, that could be a scare, that could be a place we go, and
Yeah,
I just think it will be stellar for sure.
for sure.
So my number one, for those of you keeping
Um,
track, you know it. My number one is Terra Cruentus. Terra
Cruentus.
Cruentus. For me, I kind of had to put an original number one, but when you look back at HHN 15,
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much to pull from. You have like obviously the Terra Queen herself,
Yeah.
but the body collectors as well were a part of the Terra universe. They were, I believe, like that's like their origin was they're part of the Terra Quintus, and they were like the ones that harvested they harvested the bodies,
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
But then you have like the terror mines, you have the cantina, you have like Blood Thunder Alley in the school. Like, there's so much. the fire pits where like the Terrathrone blade is formed. Like this is just like the kind of stuff that gets me really excited. This like mythological type like fantasy elements is something that always gets me really excited. But especially when it's rooted in HHN history, with HHN 15, and how that entire event was like centered around this idea of this realm.
Yeah.
And just like the continuity, like of them saying, the Terra Queen has been sacrificed and she will return in 15 years. Like, it's just like perfect. It's like being rumored now that they're actually going to continue that story. And I just feel like there's so many cool like creatures, and like the obviously you would probably see body collectors in this. And I'm just picturing I'm picturing the final scene of this house just being so like epic that I can't even like process it. You know?
Yeah.
So fire pits, terror, like, man. So I had to put it at number one.
You do a good job of selling these houses, man.
Thank you. I just love like the history of the event and the lore and characters. Like that's the kind of thing that like even just not in HHN but in everything, I just always like to dive in on that kind of thing and really learn all I can learn. And this is like the perfect house for someone like me who's really into that kind of thing. And especially when you consider like the fantasy element, because I always love those kind of aesthetics and themes.
Everybody give Connor a hand on that one.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Did I make you? So you had that at 5. Did I make you a little more hype for it?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I am more hyped for it. I'm even more hyped for Legendary Truth. Way more than what I was beforehand.
Yeah. Me too, actually. Me too.
Yes. Has very good potential. Anybody said anything
this year
in the chat?
Let's see. Yeah, people pretty much chiming in. You Can Do It said Bedtime Stories is going to be great because I really enjoyed the Adam Sandler movie. Just kidding, I didn't see the movie, but I like the movie that the fall that might have been retooled for that movie. I think Bedtime Stories will be pretty cool. I think there's so much potential. I mean, I say this every year because obviously every year there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But especially in the originals, like looking at my hype list, my top 4, 3 of them are originals, and it's just like all the back and potential that we're getting this year is just really exciting. And there's also some great intellectual properties, of course. As we mentioned, Beetlejuice, perfect IP for a throwback year. And Haunting a Hill House, just it'd be perfect in any year. It doesn't really even matter when, but it would be perfect. So let's do a little recap here. A little recap of our list. If you remember your order.
If I can remember, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go first then. So keep in mind, I'm still excited to see everything, but my order is going to be number 10, Billie Eilish, number 9, Sabrina, number 8, Gremlins, 7, Dungeon of Terror, 6, Universal Monsters, The Bride, 5, Beetlejuice, 4, Legendary Truth, 3, Bedtime Stories, 2, Haunting of Hill House, and 1, Terra Cruentus.
And there you have his list.
Let's see if you can remember.
Let's see. Number 10 was Billie Eilish. Number 9 was Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. If it was the original Sabrina, I'd be all down for that. I'd be yes. Number 9 was The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Number 7 was
eight.
Number 8 Number 8 was, I want to say it was
I,
Universal.
no, I think it was Dungeon of Terror. Was your number 8?
Yes, number
I
8 was
think
Dungeon of Terror, I believe. Number 7 was Monsters, The
that
Bride.
sounds right. Sounds
Yeah,
right.
sounds
Yeah,
right. Number 6 was, I want to say, Terror.
it was. It was Gremlins because we had the same like top five, but in a different order.
Oh, that's
I
right.
remember that.
So number 6 was Gremlins. Number 5 was Terra Cruentes, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Number 4 was Legendary Truth. No, wait a minute. Number 4 was Bedtime Stories, right?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. And then 3 was Legendary Truth.
Or Switch Watch, one of those two. And then
Yeah.
Legendary Truth, Carry Ohio, and then Beetlejuice, and then The Haunting of Hill House.
Dun dun dun.
Done. Makes me think of Disaster. Everybody, dun, dun, dun.
I miss Disaster. I love Disaster.
Oh.
I miss going to theme parks. You remember going to theme parks? That was fun, right?
Yeah, what
Back
was
in
that
the day.
feeling like?
Back in the day, going to
Yeah.
theme parks.
You had to tell your kids, like, yeah, there was one time where we didn't go to theme parks for a couple months.
Oof. Or more, it depends. Hopefully not.
Ouch.
Man, this
Hopefully,
is going to be crazy to look back on, you know?
yeah, later this year or even next
Hopefully.
year to be like, wow, this time last year,
You,
like the parks were closed.
even think about it in like 10 years, too. Like, thinking, like, dang, you remember 10 years
That's
ago that
true.
freaking
Dang, you remember
coronavirus thing
that?
that
You
shut
remember
everything
that
down?
like was it COVID?
COVID,
COVID
COVID 19.
19?
Mm.
Man, you remember when stores were like shutting down and economy was like nuts and movie theaters closed and like Fast and Furious
What's
was pushed back a year later.
and Ghostbusters.
That's right. Ghostbusters, Fast and Furious, uh,
It's
multiple
tragic.
Marvel films have been pushed back.
Yep, Black Widow,
Candyman has been pushed back.
Candyman,
Pretty much like
and
no movies are going to come out this summer. Like that's crazy to think.
yeah,
Because
I know it is terrible.
if the studios keep pushing stuff past the summer, what's going to happen if the theaters open? Like,
Yeah, and some of them are like pushing into 2021 because they don't want to compete with movies that are like already coming out late in the year. You know what I mean?
yeah, because,
So
okay, so if a movie theater opens, let's say June 1st, what do they show? Do they just show the same movies that have been out for the last couple months? Like, oh, Invisible Man.
I
Like,
have
you can
no
catch it
clue.
now in theaters. Like, no. Like,
I have no idea.
like
No
that's kind of
idea.
weird. Yeah. I didn't even think about that when they open back. Like, what are they supposed to show?
I don't know, but it's like it's tough. It's definitely tough, and I just hope it I hope it goes well.
Ballpark
Not I don't think
question.
it's gonna go back to normal for a
Yeah, I was
while,
gonna
but
say like when you get back to the park, what's the first thing you want to do? Like, is there a ride? Is there a show? Is there a snack? Is it something like you're just like, oh, I've been fiending for this. I gotta do this.
you
What's
know, just being there will be enough for me. But
the sights, the
I will say,
sounds?
yeah, but I really want to see Happily Ever After. It's just,
Oh,
I know, like, when the parks immediately first open up, I know it'll probably be chaos to try and
yeah.
do that. 'Cause that's probably the first thing on everyone's mind. Um, so I might not do that first, but, just to go back to any park, really, and, maybe go to Disney and do some park hopping, see everything. Because, man, I was thinking about it. I was like,
It's almost gonna feel like refresh, right? It's gonna feel almost
yeah.
like, wow, this is a old feeling, but it feels new in a way.
hmm And I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking back on my year so far, and I realize I'm like, dang, it's now April, and I've been to Universal this year, like, I think only 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
And then I've been to Disney. So I've been to Magic Kingdom like once and Animal Kingdom like twice,
Mm-hmm.
but one of those times is really short. And then I've been to Hollywood Studios like once or twice, and I haven't been to Epcot. Um, so it's like dang. And then the other thing that's crazy for me is that I've only been to one concert, and at the earliest, like the next show I have planned is June, but I could see those getting pushed back. So
Oh no.
it's hard to imagine like only one concert in the first whole like half of the year. I mean, that's
Yeah, has that ever
not
happened? Not in a long
uh,
time, right?
not since I got a car. That's for sure. Not since I started driving.
Wow.
So, yep, it's crazy to think. So, I don't know. What about you? What do you think? Like, what's like the first thing you want to do?
Oh man. I
Voodoo Donut, that'd be a good one.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I can't see the chat, so um, it won't like my chat is stuck. It won't update. So, Voodoo Donuts,
Oh,
I
dang.
have not had them yet, so that's definitely on my
Ooh,
list.
yeah.
Um, I think I just want to, and this sounds very stupid and simplistic. I just want to sit in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's called Central Park, where usually the pumpkins are and stuff. That scare
Right.
zone area. I loved sitting in there because like no one walks through there, and it's just peaceful, just to kind of sit there and overlook the water, the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just
It's a
kind of
great
soak it
view.
all in. Yeah.
There's another good view, kind of behind like Lombards and stuff. There's like some benches down there on that like
Hmm.
pier area.
Yeah.
Just like find those little like nooks and crannies and sit there and just look at everything, you know?
Yes. Just soak it all in and be like, wow, man, like this. It's good to be back.
I know. And you haven't been to the parks this year, right? You were gonna come to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I haven't been since Halloween Horror Nights ended, since the last
Yeah,
night of Horror Nights. So it's been even
that's
longer
rough.
for me.
Yeah, that's rough. But
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you're like, I mean, I'm sure it sucks that you missed Mardi Gras because this was such a good year
yeah,
of Mardi Gras. Maybe I mean, I've only been going for like a few years and everything, but definitely the best Mardi Gras I've been to in terms because they had like
son of a gun.
they because they just had like the tribute store and the floats were all upgraded.
Yeah, I was very sad to not see the tribute store in person.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that and the new costumes, the new floats, the new kind
Mm-hmm.
of refreshed floats. Um, and maybe to try even some of the food that was new this time around. That would have been
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
So I'm also curious about your Horror Nights plans because I mean I assume by the time September rolls around, assuming the events still will go, which I'm sure it will be. I'm keep optimistic about that. Um, you'll probably been working for the whole year leading up to that, right? Or close to it.
Pretty much, yes.
So money wise, you're probably gonna be pretty good.
And that's not to rub that into anybody's face who's going through a rough time at this point in time of being uh, unemployed or what's Disney's term?
For load.
Yes, which I've never even heard of that until I read it
Mm-hmm.
on the Disney article. I was like, what the hell is that? And then I talked to a guy today at work, and he said the same thing. Not that he works at Disney, but he said like, "Oh, I was for long too." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, I'm technically I'm still working at the other place, but we're not working, so it's kind of weird. So I just
Mm-hmm.
went and got a job somewhere else. That must be just a weird feeling."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a sidetrack. Yes. Looking forward to opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So do you think like you're going to be making more trips like you did, say, in like, I remember 27, you kind of would just come up sporadically.
Yeah,
Because
it'll be
I think last
sporadic.
year,
It won't be.
last year, last year you just kind of came up for like, I know you were here for a weekend for sure. And then did you come up like one more time after that?
I think I thought I came up at least two or three, four times maybe. I remember going to the event.
Hmm.
Like I don't. This year maybe I'll keep track of it, but
Yeah.
because SoCal Exploring will be coming to our event this time. He's from Hollywood, so it's his first year experiencing ours. So I will try to come the one of the days he's going to be there, at least just to like see him, say
Hmm.
hello, hang out, whatever. Um, Losh will be there plenty of times. You're going to be there
Of
plenty of
course.
times, obviously.
Hmm.
Uh, Connor's just going to sleep on a bench. He just wakes up.
Yeah.
It's time for Horror Nights. All right.
Yep. That time again. Although I would like to hang with Losh. I've never hung out with Losh, but I would like to.
You didn't hang out with Losh? I thought you did.
No, I mean we like interact on Twitter. Like I think we're friends or acquaintances, but
See,
I'd like
see,
to hang with them.
you
Like to
have
hang
to
with them.
forgive my cartoon co-host because he forgets.
I do.
Do you
I do
remember
forget.
a little event that went on in last haunt season that we went to? And I'm not
Dark
talking about
Horizon.
Horror Nights.
Yeah, Dark Horizon.
Yes, Losh was there. You don't remember that, but
Well,
he.
didn't you like talk? Wasn't I like doing something else?
No, we
Like
went
what
through the house together.
did we with Losh?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Losh.
Well, it's just you probably didn't
Well,
really like know
I
him.
didn't really,
And more
I
so,
didn't really
I
know him
was
at that
talking
time.
with him than you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like I've kind of like we've like been interacting more like recently.
Yeah.
So, um, and then yeah, there's exciting things. There are people like traveling, obviously friends that come every year,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a
So
friend coming from North Carolina who
that's
is
right.
a big horror fan who is coming for his first time at the event.
Very first.
So that's really exciting. And if Avion is still in here, I might have you terrorize my friend a little bit on his first time specifically. I might shoot you a DM and be like, hey, this guy, make sure you really get him.
This guy. Get this guy.
Yeah. um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to look forward to in all this. And
I think I'm gonna get a side job in the meantime too, till we're open. Yeah, that would probably be best. We don't know really the cost of Horror Nights this year. It'd be nice if, because of how the economy and things are going on, that they kind of lower the prices a little bit this year. I don't see that happening, but it would be kind of nice.
especially because they've had so much financial loss. It's
Allie says, I'm in New York,
NC,
North
NC,
Carolina
yeah.
also, and soon to be Florida when I move next year. Well,
Nice.
nice. Congratulations on the move. Best of luck. Yes. So you'll be there. I'll be there. Obviously, if you see the real live version of Connor, he's much nicer in
Jamari.
person. Just tell
Oh,
him.
hold on one sec here. Jamari says he's got me too. I'm assuming that you're referencing scaring my friend. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and
he said I
follow
got
you.
you too. Hit me
Dro-
up on Twitter. Oh man,
Drop your Twitter and I'll follow you like right now. Go ahead, drop it.
you're just gonna cause all sorts of problems for
Yeah.
this.
I know. I have
yours.
to. I just have to. If you were scout there last year, where were you? Where were you? Sorry to cut you off there, Chris.
Oh no, you're good.
What were you gonna say?
I don't remember. Oh no, I was
okay.
saying if you see me in the parks, obviously at the event, say hello. Don't worry if I'm recording something. I'm always recording something. I'm talk to people who have seen me in the parks and they're like, "Oh, I didn't want to like say hi because you were taking pictures or recording." I'm always doing that. So if you see me, say hello. If you see the real life version of Connor, he'll look similar to this.
Yeah.
He won't be doing this, but
Yeah.
but yes, if you see him, say hello as well. We'll
Ghostbusters
Ooh.
Ghostbusters and Graveyard. Man, that's fire. Where specifically, if you don't mind sharing that? Because Graveyard Games was my second favorite house, so you probably scared me a few times. Avion, I haven't been able to be. Dude, we'll hang out as soon as this is over, man.
Yeah,
we'll hang out.
Especially
we'll
if you get, I want to say, not Fire Squad. If you somehow get they used to call it active backup. I'm not sure what they call it now, but basically where you get to come to the event and you see if they have a role. If they don't, you get to go into the parks. That's always cool because then you can run around and hang out with people. If you happen to have that would be, Fire Crew. There we go. Yes, I was thinking that. Fire Crew. Allie says, I'm booked to go September 16th through 20th. That's going to be kind of interesting if the dates change or push back, how do they deal with that? I am excited for them to do the first announcement. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Is that you, Connor? Connor? Hello? Connor? I believe I lost my... Connor?
You hear me?
There we go. Connor? Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
You can hear me. Hey, welcome to the podcast. Are you there?
You kind of got the tail end a little bit here.
Huh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
You hear me?
Uh-oh. You're cutting in and out. Hold on. Let me take this off. Can you hear me? Hello?
About now.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you. Keep talking.
Test. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Oh, Jamar! Look at that. Jamari was one of the grinners in Graveyard Games.
Oh, son of a bitch! The damn grinners.
Dude, that was one of the best scenes in my opinion. Like, it was that the the candle blowout scene, and then the I like the play with us. That little girl that was like play with us. But the grinners were mad creepy, very unsettling.
I hate those grinners. I hate them. I mean, that's hate in a good way, but not. God, it's creepy ass grinning. So, what are you grinning about? You're in a graveyard. What are you grinning? What are you happy about?
I think September 16th through 20 is probably a good time to come, as long as like the event still operates during that time. Yes. I feel like that'll be a pretty slow week. It's like right after opening week, and it's not like in October yet. Pretty good time to come, I would say.
You son of a gun. I mean that in the best of terms.
Got right in your face.
Yeah. You son
yes,
of a
sir.
gun. Yeah, because I remember going through and being with Connor, and Connor being like pointing out the freaking the ghost in the walls or like in the bricks, smiling, and I was God, it was creepy.
And then they swing around at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's like, yo.
Yeah.
But that I think when they came around, it was creepy, but it was so much scarier just like them staring at you like in the little hallway.
Yeah.
It was so freaking unsettling. One of the more unsettling things I've seen in a house. That house had a very different tone. It was very like dark, not like literally dark, but dark as in like the concept was dark.
It was very
and
unsettling.
very unsettling.
Yes.
And definitely a kind of a sleeper hit. Like when the event first started, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, there's the house that's set in a graveyard," but there's
I
so
was
much
one of
more to it.
those.
So much more to it when it was all said and done.
Yeah. Um, I was one of those as well. So frequent fear is probably more than likely the ticket I'll be getting. I'm sure Connor
Mm-hmm.
is the same. Um,
Well, it's gonna be Freedom Fear Plus for me, so I can
oh,
go on Fridays.
oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if I think I'll splurge this year. Fuck it, I'll
Okay,
do it
okay,
all out.
yes,
I'm gonna do
sir.
the ultimate pack. No, I'm not paying
Ultimate
six,
with
$700 for 4 nights.
ultimate with
Yeah,
Express.
yeah, ultimate with Express, please.
No thanks, can't. Stay and Scream is my Express.
Yeah, that would be something.
But you know what? Like, I think this year I'm gonna Stay and Scream a little less,
Yeah,
uh, because it's just so hot, and I want to leave at like 9:30. But like, I really enjoyed last year more showing up at like 10 or 9:30, like 10 usually, and staying till like 1 or 2. I actually enjoyed that more,
and then leaving.
and then leaving because like at the end of the night, like that last hour, like you could just do anything with like no wait.
That is true. If you wait towards the end, you can just be like, "Oh, whatever. I'll do all of them."
That's how I got so many runs of Clowns last year. Was I just like would show up late and then run it like 4 times in a row with no wait. Easy
Nice.
money, just like that. And that's what my plan is for when my friend comes down.
Hmm.
We're gonna do a Friday night and a Sunday night, and we're gonna Stay and Scream on Friday. You know, remember how they had like that Stay and Scream add-on thing?
Oh yes.
Because he's not gonna have day admission to the parks. We are gonna do Disney, so we're gonna do Disney on Saturday.
Uh huh.
But we're not doing Universal in the day. So we're gonna get like the add-on, show him like a few Universal rides, and
Hmm.
then Stay and Scream Friday, and then do a late night appearance on Sunday. So that's the plan.
Nice. Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
think
I
like
did too. I did
yeah,
the Stay and Scream add-on.
yeah, that's right. I hope they bring that back for his sake and your sake because that's just a really good.
Well,
Well, no,
this,
you have a pass
yeah,
now, right? You have
I
a
have
pass
a
now.
pass this
Okay.
time, so
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, it
But
was
for
good.
his
Why
sake, I hope
it
they.
was good while I was there for last year. Very
Hmm.
helpful.
Yeah, but I hope for his sake it's still there so that we can do it. And then I have the pressure of deciding what his first Halloween Horror Nights house is going to be.
That is true.
But that is something to determine after I've walked all of them
Yes, after you
in the
done been
distant
through and you're like,
in the distant future, in the very distant future.
that's right.
So
Let's just hop in the time machine right now, and
honestly, because dude, this year is going by so slow
that
because
would be
there's
kind
just
of
nothing.
disappointing. We hop out the time machine. We're like, all right, Halloween Horror Nights. Wait a minute, what?
Oh, it's not
It's
happening.
not there.
Oh no.
No. Try to go back
Yeah.
and tell people it's not gonna happen, man.
Stop being excited now. No, we can't have that. We can't have that. It's
No.
got to happen for all of our sanity. Because, dude, it's been a tough year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a tough year. So, man, if Horror Nights doesn't happen, it's just that is gonna be tough to recover from. To be honest,
Mhm.
like, because think about this too. If Horror Nights doesn't happen, then that means nothing has happened in May, June, July, or August. So visit
Wow.
Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. I make magic at both parks. I will be sure to. Where specific? Like, do you do like attractions? Do you work at a certain attraction?
Oh, you make magic. That could be a lot of things.
It could be anything.
It could be because
Could be anything.
every person there makes magic happen, I guess.
Sure, sure.
I mean, do you feel magical when you go through the parks?
um, well, when I first got my AP, like a few years back, and went back for the first time in like a decade. I would say I did. Now I don't know if I would use the term magic, but I would use the term really, really nice.
Really A plus customer service.
Sure. Going to the parks is just kind of it's like a different feeling. Maybe it is magic. I don't know. But it's definitely a totally different feeling when you're really into it. Like, yeah, there's just the sense of community, the friends, and all that stuff. You should try Disney Sea in Tokyo. Oh man, yeah, like Disney Sea is probably like the best Disney park in the world.
What's up, Scott?
So I'd love to go
you can
see that.
do it. As I always say, everybody in the chat, if you do not know, you can do it. Check out Scott's channel. If you want to see everything over in Japan as far as, well, I guess Horror Nights, hopefully it's going to happen this year, hopefully. If you do not know, their Horror Nights is way different because they allow cosplay. They allow guests to actually wear costumes and masks and all sorts of stuff. Also, their event is free with your ticket, which is just crazy. But check out I'm hiding. Right. Yeah. So check out Scott's channel. I'll have it. It's should be featured on my page or down in the description box. Yeah.
Well, I pretty much run out of things to say, Chris. Yeah, Will Jamari, follow me on Twitter. I'll try and hit you up, and next time I'm in the park, see what you're doing.
Yeah.
See where you're working.
Make some magic happen and make some scares happen.
Yep.
Thank you to everyone who joined the chat this time. That was very cool. That was lively.
Yep.
Thank you
guys. A lot
of
fun. Yep.
For the support. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more of these, or you want to see different topics, whatever, leave it down in the comment section. Leave a video. I don't know why I say a video. I don't know. Do you do thumbs up for live streams? If you do, do a thumbs up.
You can hit that thumbs up button. Yep.
There we go. Yeah. Smash that thumbs up.
Yes, sir. Smash that. Hey, you too, Avion. You too, buddy.
What did he say?
He said, "Love you guys. Stay safe."
Oh, back at you, buddy. Connor, let's give you a proper. There you go, Connor. You want to tell people how they can reach you?
Sure. So, we got a YouTube channel. It's Connor, Conner, because I'm not a heathen, and then FL. And then my Twitter is ConnorW96. And that's where I'm the most active. Instagram, I'm 82, but I'm mostly active on Twitter. So.
Yes. There you go. That's how you can reach Connor. And for me, hey, there we go. Fancy. You can reach me at Zombie CT. Quite simple. No, I'm not from Connecticut. That's a running joke. Instagram and Twitter, it's just Zombie CT. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're watching it over on my YouTube page. Connor has one as well. Go check out his channel. And I believe that is it for HHN Speculation live stream.
I believe so.
Yes, we do this podcast. I guess it's a bi-weekly. I guess is what you call it.
Every other week. Yeah,
so every other week. So that way we at least have a fresh batch of topics or something big we can discuss. Thank you guys for tuning in. Halloween Horror Nights 30 is hopefully on the way. And yeah, thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So long.
And cue the outro.